also, I didn't say this at the top, but January, the theme for like my prompt list is seasons, and so we're gonna work through like cool spring, warm summer, hot summer, warm fall, cool winter, cold winter. Okay, let's do what I came here to do. If you're in the Discord, you've already, well, I mean, maybe you've already seen all of these, but I want to do a little bit of D&D on Saturdays, even though I haven't been, because, I don't know, I feel like I should. So, I feel like I did it wrong. And I know that there's no doing it wrong, but I've been, like, looking at other people's stuff, and I'm like, mostly because I went like a very narrative route, and it's not even what I meant to do, it's just what happened. And I think that that's going to change. What I foresee happening with the way that my dungeon's gonna go is the first 2 levels are gonna be like kind of narrative, and then there's gonna be like a stark change when we get to the 3rd level, and the reason for that is the first 2 levels are going to be the tower and like the building. And so I think I'm gonna like, well, what's happened by accident is that I'm kind of like deciding who used to live here. And I think that that is important for creating a dungeon anyways. But I wasn't really expecting to like on the first day be like, okay, here's these 3 NPCs that I have to build now. But I did that. And so, do I have to like build them? Probably not. Am I gonna? Probably, because I think it's important because like I create stories. Thank you for the lurk. And so, that's what happened. I created a story and I've just kind of continued doing that. And I think, what's gonna happen is there's gonna be like multiple families that have lived in this house. Now, whether that is like generations of the same family, or if like multiple families have moved in, I haven't really decided yet. That'll just like come out as I brainstorm what happens. And I've had the thought that the fall level will be in line with like the other, like the rest of the building, and then winter might be underground just because like it makes sense that it might be colder down there kind of thing. I don't know if that's exactly what I'm gonna do, but that's a thought that's kind of like going in the back of my head. But yeah, so, first bad boy here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. I don't know how well you guys are able to see it when I post the picture in the Discord. I don't think it really matters, because it's just a fucking mess anyhow. Most DM notes are messes, yeah, and this is even, like, more messy than, like, DM notes usually would be, because this is not, like, the finished version. This is just me, like, putting words on a page to like come back to later. Like, I feel like we're gonna do this and then next year is gonna be like edit a room every day or like finish fleshing out the room every day. I'll probably try to do it throughout the year and not actually do that because that sounds ridiculous. Like that you took the time to doodle the shovels. I just think so. I really just wanted to have some doodles throughout it, and so like so I've been drawing the room, but I haven't really been drawing the rooms. When it gets to like the more like classic dungeon type floor things, I'll probably draw rooms a little bit more. So I wanted to make sure that I was making it pretty. I don't know, I feel like it's fun to just doodle some stuff. It certainly wasn't necessary, but I was just like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And like, I don't know, I wanted to, like, I didn't know how to like describe the hooks proper either, because I don't even think I said hooks, but that was in my head, so I was like, I'm gonna draw it like that. So I guess it will help me later as well. For sure, fill it with doodles is a good thing. Oh no, I know. I didn't think you were at all. I was just explaining myself because that's what I do. But like, I also picked up like washi tape and like fancy looking paper for this. So like the idea was to make this like fun and pretty for me. And obviously write way too much. Is it actually way too much? Probably not. Is every page gonna end up looking like this? Definitely not, and you will see that later in the week. At the top of the tower is a room with windows alongside the outside wall. I said side too many times. Some of these windows are broken, allowing a cool breeze to circulate. There are shelves and cabinets containing tools and jars and dried specimens. The desk holds quills, dried ink wells, notebooks from 3 different authors, and the basic herbology and cultivation texts. Adventurers can find ingredients, old experimental potions, and knowledge. The notebooks contain both personal and research notes. The research varies over 3 authors, 150 years, the most recent still far in the past. I don't know exactly how far in the past yet, and there is a note on the page about, like, how long does it take for shit to go to ruin? Because that's something that I kind of need to look into that will kind of inform me on that. It contains both magical and mundane research, becoming more and more magical as the years go on. Adventurers may also learn that the most recent author had some wild magic coursing through her veins. A few things still need to be ironed out, like the NPCs and more detailed research and specimens and like what's actually in there. Another thing that I've been doing throughout this is I've been like writing notes, like this is how like I'm writing it right now, but like this would be really easily changed for like the DM. Like, so if somebody else ends up running my dungeon, like these are the things that like make a lot of sense to like change this way, change that way, do it this way. Now obviously they can change whatever they want, but yeah, okay, so that was day 1. 2! We've only made it to day 2. Day 2, I was a little upset about, because I feel like the room I created ended up falling more into fall than spring, but I decided I don't care, because why should I care? And it doesn't mean that I can't, like, take the same sort of thing, because it's a prompt. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as the prompt starts you off and gets you there, you're fine. You also don't always have to use a prompt. Just like you don't always have to make a room. It can be an empty room. If you are empty on spoons, you make an empty room. And I made a nearly empty room. So day 2, I kind of wanted the idea of melting, because in like early spring, the snow melts. And so we got like a damp, dark room, which of course meant fungus is gonna grow there, which makes me think more fall than spring. There's not usually a lot of mushrooms in spring, but I don't care. Okay, this room is dark, damp, and musty. It has no obvious windows, though upon closer inspection, metal shutters can be found rusted closed. When it rains, these shutters, as well as a few other spots along the wall, drip and leak. The lack of circulation keeps the room damp and cool. Most of the room is taken up by raised, tiered beds filled with soil. There's no trace of what the old vegetation might have been, but moving the soil around lets go the stench of decay. In the darkest recesses of the room are piles of growing mold or fungus or some other cave-dwelling plant-like substance, because I haven't decided exactly what that is yet. Getting too close or disturbing it too abruptly will wake the intelligent mobile goop. However, if gentle, the party may reveal the remnants of a glowing substance. What this is, I don't know, but it will show up later. Staying in this room is dangerous, whether getting into combat or not, because after 20 minutes, a player will have to make a Constitution saving throw, or whatever works for the system that you're using, with a DC 12 or a little harder than normal, or begin having trouble breathing. A fail will lead to a -2 to every Constitution and Strength roll made. Every 20 minutes a new check is made. Every fail adds -1 to the rolls. The symptoms will clear after X hours, where X is the number of failed saving throws. And then I just said, like, for now, like, that stuff is kind of vague, and I'll get to it. Specimens of and notes of this room can also be found in the green room, which is the room from before this. Alright, 2. Or no, 3! We're still in cool spring. This one is a little, writing light compared to the other ones, but I feel like the first couple days, we're bound to have a lot of writing, and not all of them will be like that. And that's okay with me. This one, this doodle was actually kind of, like, important, because important. This is what the, like, comforter looks like. I don't know if it actually matters, but it was very specific in my head what it looked like. But this one is, basically, this one is a bedroom that's not, like, it's like a spare room where like if a researcher doesn't feel like going to bed but needs a power nap, this is where they go. So it's not like a super used bedroom is basically what I went with, but it's there because it's at the top of the tower. So like sometimes, but yeah, that's what this room ended up being. My little write-up on it is as follows. This room consists of a simple bed, comfy but nothing special, brown bed dressing with blue and yellow accents, which like I said was very specific in my head what it looked like. A simple nightstand filled with simple clothes, a brown curtain, sun bleached on the window facing side, a small vanity. Everything's in pretty good shape, just aged. Like it's covered in dust. It's been sitting there for a while. Some pieces of it might have started to rot, but like it wasn't damaged, so like it should be good. I don't really know. I don't know how furniture works. The most interesting part of the room is the 3 simple paintings above the bed, a plant with buds, a plant with small blooms, and a wilting plant. These could be tied to Maiden Mother Crone energy and may allude to magic and nature coming together, just like the research from the green room and the dark room. There's not much there for adventurers. Could perhaps give jewelry as treasure from the vanity if the GM so chooses. So that's another one of those things where I'm just like, if the GM wants to do the thing, they can. This is an idea if you want to do it. But like it's not like attached to the room, if that makes sense. Oh, this is something that I wanted to do actually because of this guy here. I wanted to look up the definition of horticulture. Because I feel like whatever word I was using, herbalist or herbology, that doesn't like really fit what I'm doing. The art practice of garden cultivation and management, like horticulturalist might fit better. I don't think I switched to agriculture and that wasn't right either. I feel like horticulture might be the right word. I don't know. We'll see what I go with. So I think I do just go with agriculture, or I guess we go botanical agriculturalist. Plant scientist. Yes, plant scientist definitely works. It could be an alchemist in D&D. True. Oh. You're not wrong. I feel like other people might classify them as alchemists, but I don't think I'm gonna classify them as alchemists. I think I'm gonna go with botanical agriculturalist. I think that's what I've decided on. I could also make up a term, but I can't name a character to save my life. I'm not gonna be able to come up with a title any better. We've made it to 4. Oh, this one's dark. Why are you so dark, sir? I know exactly why, but this one also mentions a room that hasn't been created yet, which is a whole other thing. What was this one? This one's the like storage room, which came from Warm Spring and the idea of spring cleaning. So it just has all the tools. This is basically just a storage room for all the tools that you would use in the green room and the dark room, as well as a crate that has stuff in it for someone else. I named them Tabitha, I think, in the write-up, but they don't really have a name yet. I haven't really decided. Maybe we go with Tabitha. I don't know. But it'll be mentioned later when we get to the studio, which I think will end up in summer. Haven't entirely decided yet, but I think that's where the studio will end up. It's basically a giant storage closet filled with items that easily accompany the green room and the dark room. Brooms, shovels, sacks of dirt, trowels, nails, hammers, wooden planks, some rotted, empty pots, broken pots, jars of all shapes and sizes. Right at the door is a crate filled with broken pots and jars and vials of super pigmented powders. The crate has written on it for Tabitha or some other name. This will be referenced later. The further you go into the room, the more disorganized it gets, and I think the further people go into the room, the more likely it is that shit will fall on them, so maybe some dex checks would be in order. Another possible danger could be some creepy crawlies, like having, like, spiders, bug swarms, rats, and I did, like, on the actual, thing, I have some stuff specified, like spiders, and then that would also make webs as a hazard as well. And then swarms, you could have like moths, roaches, rats, all those things would be possible. That danger won't come without reward though. And then a random table I think would be fun. I think what I want to do is I want to have like just magical versions of like shovels, shears, ropes, brooms, and then some stuff that like somebody could have easily lost and been like, fuck it, I'm not going after that, like some coins, broken jewelry, that sort of thing. Yes. And that's day 4. Okay, day 5. This is the day where it literally felt like my skull was going to split in two, and so I made a nearly empty room. But it still serves a purpose. There are going to be days where I don't even have a purpose for the empty room, but this one has a window in it that just looks out onto something useful or pretty. The one that I decided on was kind of both, because it looks out onto the forest outside, but it also shows the path that goes that like comes out of the thing, so like you can see people approaching the building, but also it's just kind of a nice view. But yeah, I don't think I need to like really read out the written thing for this day, because it's just an empty room. It has like wearing from like going to and from the window, because that's pretty much all anybody does in it. And otherwise it's just an empty room. And then yesterday's room, Iggy was helping. I could not get a picture without him in it. The video I took also has him in it. It's just how it is. So this room we stepped off of the seasons path, because every full moon I'm gonna do a room based on the full moon. The moon in January is the wolf moon, so obviously this was a little werewolf themed, but there will be a way to find out in another room that it's not just like werewolves that have been tied up in this room. So I went the obvious route. This door is locked up tight. The DC to break it down is 25. The DC to pick the lock is 15 times 3, because there are 3 locks. One of them hides a mechanism that releases the clamps surrounding the frame. If this one is picked, it drops the breakdown DC to 18. Inside looks like a prison. There are chains attached to the walls, floor, and ceiling, some with shackles, other with locks as if to wrap around something. Closer inspection will reveal that some of the chains are silver and some are iron. All of the shackles are currently unlocked and none of them are broken. So you could obviously change this to have some of the shackles broken, and then that will like tell your players like, oh, there might be something running around here that used to be locked up in this room. However, I think if you wanted to do that, you either have to have the window broken or the door broken, because otherwise the unlocked thing is in that room. The other thing you could do, I guess, is have an invisible thing that has managed to live this entire time inside this room. You could also have something that can like grab onto the ceiling so your players might not see it right away. Those are all options if you want to combat in this room. The floors and walls bear signs of huge, strong claw scratches. The window is grated in silver-lined bars. And then I said you could make the obvious assumption of lycanthrope and you wouldn't be wrong, but you wouldn't be entirely right, as many a type of entity have been locked up here, though you won't find out in this room what they were. So that will be something that they can find out in some other way, somewhere else in the dungeon. There's definitely going to be like a lot of notes and stuff left throughout, as well as like a library or 4 billion, because libraries are fun. Yeah, and that's all the dungeon rooms we have up to today, because I haven't done today's dungeon yet because it's early, and I stream first thing in the morning. Hey, thanks for checking out Chicka D&D. If you liked what you saw, click all the buttons down below. Subscribe, like, comment, you know the drill. Thank you again so much. See you next time. Bye.